Hello, loves. Okay, I figured the best way to tell you guys this would be to make a cake while letting you know my background. So, how did I get into caking to begin with? Well, for many of you that don't know, I did used to be a teacher. I actually taught fifth grade for 10 years. Well, I actually taught for 10 years total, so I consider it kind of in there. See, I got my bachelor's degree in teaching and I went ahead and I taught for a couple of years, and then I thought it would help or benefit me to get my master's degree, so I went back and got that in ESL, which is English as a second language. I worked at a charter school, so I didn't make much to begin with. Now teachers are in demand, but at that time, you're talking about over almost 15 years ago, if not more, it was very hard to get a job in the public school system, and you wanted a job in the public school system because they paid well. Let's just tell you that by the end of my 6-year mark as a teacher with a master's degree, I was making 35 grand. That's before taxes. So when they say teachers cannot live off of their income or their salary, it's absolutely correct. So how did I get into the caking aspect? Now, I've always baked my family's cakes ever since I was younger. I would use like the canned frosting, the boxed cake, whatever brand it was, and I'd create them these cool looking fun cakes. And I even did that with my children as well. So I had my 2 girls while I was teaching. Very, very tough, by the way, to have your kids as well as a full-time job, as well as going back to get your master's, as well as a full-time housewife. Yes, the cooking and the cleaning was still on me. And if you're going to ask why, it's a culture thing, I guess. Yeah. Anywho, that's a whole nother story. But when I got pregnant with my son, and you're talking about 8 years later, I told my husband, I barely make anything. And my mom is tired, which that's understandable. She does not want to babysit. Totally fine. And the money that I'm going to use to put towards daycare. Also, I told him, don't forget, with 3 kids, a full-time job, I'm probably going to hire cleaning services because I'm not going to be able to do it all myself. And there will be many days of the week where I probably will get takeout because I'll be exhausted by the time I get home. Don't forget, teachers' jobs don't end at 3 or 4 o'clock. Sometimes they stay until 5 o'clock in the building. I used to stay till 5, 6, sometimes with my girls with me. They used to go to the same school I attended. And I'd finally get home if I can have time to get dinner done, get the kids ready, prep everything for the next day, and then finally sit down and work on things I have to check. So I told him all that. What do you think I'm going to have left over of the paycheck? Really, barely anything. So I told him I want to quit. And he's like, whatever you want, it's fine, if that's what you feel like it. And I'm like, yes. He was worried about the health insurance because teachers do get good health insurance for the families. That's the one plus about it. But I told him we'll figure it out. It's just too exhausting. Lo and behold, I had my child after, I finished my last school year, and then I had my child like a month before the school year ended. I went back 2 weeks before it ended just to make sure I did get paid. Otherwise, they don't pay you here in America. And after about a month, literally just a month of sitting at home, I was so bored. No, I didn't have much time to myself, understandable. I had a baby to take care of, 2 kids to take care of, a house to take care of, but I was so bored. So once I got my son into bed, as well as my girls, I would start making cakes. And it started when it was my friend's birthday, then they wanted to go out. After I had quit teaching, it was my coworkers. I wanted to see them, so I decided to make them a nice cake. It was a purse, a Burberry purse, and a Chanel purse. They loved it so much when they shared pictures with family and friends. People started messaging me, and they're like, we just saw what you did. It's amazing. Can you do something for me? So I was like, well, maybe I should start something here. I went ahead, and this is when Instagram was still new, started an Instagram page and decided to just try caking on the side as a hobby whenever my son would be asleep at night. Boy, was it exhausting. I would stay up into all hours of the night when I took these orders because I was still learning. And I would be making pennies on the dollar, literally pennies, guys. I was selling these cakes for so dirt cheap. But it's okay. I look back at it now and I think of it as a learning process. So as the years went on, I got more and more orders and I got more and more followers on my pages. I started a TikTok that grew tremendously. It was great. I've always had YouTube, but I had given up on it. But YouTube Shorts is the one that really helped me out after I started on it. And it's all because of you guys. Completely, wholeheartedly, thank you so much that I was able to cut down on orders, create content from these orders, get a little bit of extra revenue from it, and focus more on my family and health. And I thank you guys so much.